Hi, this is a video documenting my build of this Jetson or battery extender 48 volt 13S 2 parallel 21700 battery pack. So I'm using these 21705 amp hours at 3.7 volts or 18.5 watt hours, purchased from Battery Hookup a while back. So this is a custom 13S or 10S 21700 cell configuration, made 3D printed out of PETG from a friend of mine. And yeah, so this is a configuration that I'm using. So goes on like this. Okay, so it goes 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, connects to 8 9 10 11 12 13. Okay, so let's just put the cover on and we'll just do a quick test. I'm pretty sure I had these balanced because it was being used in a previous pack, which was easily disassemblable. So let's just check these cells, make sure they're all good. I'll start with the top row here. So for the nickel, I'm going to be using these slanted, bracketed 21700 pure nickel, 22.7 by 0.2 millimeter thick. Okay, and I had pre-cut a whole bunch like this for the series connections. So it goes like this. Sorry, no, it goes like this. Okay, and then for the end piece, I think I'm going to use this 0.3 by 8 millimeter pure nickel. A really long roll of it here. I may use 1 or 2 rows or 1 or 2 layers for the end piece. It's not going to be that big. It's only across 2 cells anyways. Well, maybe just 1 should be fine. I'll figure it out. Okay, just to stay organized and to make sure that I don't make any errors, I'm just going to write down what each cell is. So this is the main cell negative, or cell 1. Okay, then I'm going to go this way and back here. Okay, so now I'm going to do the spot welding portion, and I'll record it here, but I'm only going to record some of it. The rest I'll just do off camera, but I'll just show you what I'll be using. Your safety glasses, you're going to need those. Here's my secure spot welder. So if I put it here, put it here. Okay. The LiPo battery I'm using. The leads. And the foot pedal. Let's try 7 milliseconds. 0.15. So I'm going to do, this is main pack negative right here. So positive, negative on the other side. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 connections here. I don't need to tape anything up yet. I'll do that in a bit. Or actually, let's go put some insulator discs on first as I go through it. Okay, 21700 insulator discs just on the positive terminals. Negative ones don't need it. Okay. I should actually put them on before I put the cover on. So I'll start one side and then do the other. So I'll just do a few on camera here. Easier to do it if I take it off. Okay, there you go. Put the thing on, okay, and start on the other side here, the right side. Make sure it's all flat. Are we recording? Yep, okay, here we go. So I'll just do a couple here. And another thing to keep track of as you're proceeding with this thing, you got to tape off the areas that have already been done with some tape, any kind. What I like to use is blue tape because it doesn't leave a residue. It's easy to peel off and it's relatively cheap. Maybe, I mean, I'm not sure about the conductivity, but I don't want to waste anything, any expensive tape. Okay, so let's start. So I pre-cut these and I sort of remove the sharp edges on the corners, except maybe this one, but let's just cut that corner off as well. Oh. So cut it, and then sometimes when you cut the corner, it gets bent a bit, so I just bend it back. Okay, like so. Okay, I think that's good for all of them. No excessive sharp corners. Okay, so I'll do a couple here. Let's just try 6 milliseconds and see how well that does. Okay, so this main pack negative right here. So go positive, negative, positive, negative. So this is the right one. Double check. Make sure you're doing it right. Okay, I like to start off with the negative terminal first. Okay, press down. And then make sure that the holes are lining up with the positive terminal right in the center. Okay. See if 6 milliseconds good. Okay. All right, let's just do a quick test. Try lifting it. Oh. Looks like that's pretty good. Wow. 6 milliseconds. All right, maybe we'll go 7. Okay. Just to be a little bit stronger. We want these welds to be super good. Maybe I'll go 8, but 6 was sufficient enough. Okay, go across the 2 terminals here. So I think that should be in the center. Okay, that's good, I think. All right. That's good. So I'll go around in a circle here. Just one first. Okay. And there you go. Okay, so one side's done, or at least just the series connections. I'll do the main negative at another time on another video. I'll take a quick photo of this. Okay, so the next side, the one you flip over, you will have to be careful here. You better make sure you do this properly or you're going to have a bad time. So I'm going to tape off every spot unless it's the area I'm working on. So cell 1 here. Cell 1. Okay, so I'm going to connect the first 2. So it's going to be 1 to 2 here. I'm going to tape off everything else. Okay, so here, just to make sure I'm doing it right, I sort of like to tap it. That. No spark. Okay. Orient it properly. Good. Okay. So I'll do just one here on this side, and then I'll do the rest off camera. Okay, for this connection between cell 7 and 8, it's only got one path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just double it up. Do one more here. Okay, and then on my swell, I'll be doubling these up at the end so I can sort of look and see if there's any errors or issues. Okay, but that connection is there. That's good. So I'll just continue the rest off camera. Okay, so I've just finished most of the spot welding. Okay, so now I'm making the leads here. So just took 2 strips, measured them out, cut the length. That's the main negative right there. So that's one side's pretty much done. The other layer. Basically put the BMS right here. Right here. So the main negative is going to be down here. Main positive up here. I'm just not sure where I'm going to route the cable. Maybe I'll have the negative come here, and I glue it here, and main positive route it down here. All right, so that's all the spot welding done. So this is cell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 7 connects to 8. Okay, and 8 connects to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then this is positive here. And then you grab yourself your multimeter and just quickly test to make sure. Make sure you check the voltage and lead here. 48 volts. Double check. Yep. Okay. My connection is good. I had pre-cut these based on tracing the outline of the sheet here. I think I'm just gonna put these small little leads here. I'm going to be using 0.1 by 4 millimeter. Then little strips. On the negative end goes up here. I'm just going to have them all go up to the center. So it's the side profile is very flat because in the Jetson it's going to be pressed down on it on the side. So I don't really want any pinching of wires on either side. All the wires will be on the top. And I'm still thinking if I want to isolate these ones at the top as well, because I can put here, 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 and then there, 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 there. It just takes a lot more work, but it looks neater, probably more safer, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to wrap some Kapton tape, or sorry, some fish paper, barley paper, around the core here. Perfect. There you go. Okay, so for the most time-consuming part of this battery build, depending on how good or clean you want the wiring, the BMS wiring to be, will determine how long it's going to take you to build this. So I've been experimenting with different ways. I don't want to be putting the wire through here and then having it getting pinched too much on the sides when we shrink wrap it. So I'm going to try and put these BMS leads here and just have it go down here so it's on the corner top here. So I'm going to do that for all of them. I'm going to use this thin nickel strip. I'm just going to do one weld. It's just for balancing, right? So it's not transferring a lot of data, or a lot of power. So it doesn't have to be super intense. So what I'll do is I'll just weld this one by one and then cut it. So I'll just put that there. I might still do some taping just to be safe. So I'll just tape off small sections as I go. You don't have to be super pragmatic with that, but just be a little. Okay, so this one doesn't need a lot of power. I'm just going to put 4 milliseconds. Okay, where's my foot pedal? There you are. And this one should spark because it's nickel plated. Okay, here we go. Yep, there you go. And then I'll just cut it off as I go like that. Okay, so the spot welding of the BMS leads are done, and I labeled it. As you can see right here, I have these small little nickel strips. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I'm going to put some double-side tape along the center here. And then have the BMS leads run in a straight track from the BMS and then hook it up that way. Okay, so I saw this on Instagram on a reel for a battery Instagram account. They basically just take some double-side tape and just run it along the center here. This is what I've done before in the past, and I think it's worked out pretty well so far. Okay, just have it go around there, and then cut. Okay. So the issue I've sort of discovered right now is might not be enough length to go all the way around this side. I might have to take just, I guess, the last two cables here, and I'll have to route it this way. So it won't look as neat, but that's okay though. It's just 1 or 2. Okay, so let's remove it slowly. And it's just that's going to stick here. That's going to be annoying. All right, so let's remove here, just up to here for now. And make sure you have the right orientation, make sure you have the right length. This is the way, right? Plugs in like this. Do I want this to be super neat, or can it look like a bit of a hare's nest, bee's nest? Let's try and make it as neat as we can. That's just me personally. I like it like that. So we want this to be like right here. It's going to bend down. So, okay, right there. That's pretty good. Okay. Make sure these are flat. Negative. So it goes like that. Battery 2 is over here. Okay. So when I do this, I'm going to put some nickel, or some fish paper on top to prevent any sort of pinching. And then at the end, I'm also going to put some liner here or some foam tape along the upper edges here. So it's okay if it's a little bit taller, but I just don't want it to be fatter on the sides because that's where all the pressure is going to be put on the Jetson. So I'll do some of that and then I'll start recording again. Okay, so here's the BMS soldering part. So I'll just do a couple of leads here and then I'll just do the rest again as usual, off camera. That's just the way it is. Faster when it's off camera. I don't know why. Just is. Requires a lot of prepping. Okay. This side's done. The other side I'll do off camera. Okay, so this is where it's pretty much done with the soldering. So now I'm just gonna put these pieces of fish tape or fish paper across where the wires have to cross a bunch of other wires. I'm just gonna put some fish paper underneath there like this, like this. Actually, I should make it a bit longer, like this one. A bit longer for the ones near the front here. So just put it right here, and I'm gonna put some tape on top. And then squish these in. Just form it a bit more. And then the other side, I'll do the same thing. And then I'll do a video a bit. So I'll just do the first couple here. In fact, I made these a little bit short. So I'll make it a bit longer. Okay. So the first one, 13 crosses quite a few. So it should have the longest fish tape or fish paper. Before we actually do this, you should also test to make sure that all the voltages are correct. I'll just do that right now. You can see. There you go. I got 48 volts there. Okay, I'm back. So that's this. This is pretty much done. So I put Kapton tape over the overlapping areas, and I put fish paper underneath, and then Kapton tape over just to hold it in place. Okay, I did it for all sides. Okay. Now, depending on how much extra time or material cost you want to incur, you can either wrap this up in with some tape, some fiberglass reinforced tape, or you can use fish paper and then heat shrink it, or you can be minimal, not do any of that really, and just heat shrink it. But let's do this properly. So I'm actually just going to use fish paper on either side here. And then I'm going to maybe put a little bit of Teflon tape just around to hold in place. And then heat shrink it after I attach the BMS and the leads. So I'll do that on another time here. Magic of video editing. It'll be next second here. Okay, so now I'm just connecting the BMS here. Let's see how this goes. We're connected to the negative first, to the B minus. Okay, just putting some solder onto this negative lead here. And then I'm going to attach this guy. I really should use some. Okay, so this is a lot tougher than I thought it would be. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just not that great yet at soldering. Okay. Okay, so I just hooked it up to a charger, and before I start cleaning everything up, just make sure everything works. Okay, both leads are good. So I've decided to use some of this Teflon tape to cover up this so I can glue the tell you the hardest part of this whole thing is just gluing this down, trying to make it look neat. If I didn't care about how it looked, I'd probably be done this by now, but I do care. Takes a while to dry. It's still too thick. Let's use now here I am heat shrinking it. This is 170 millimeter heat shrink. Okay, so right in here. All right, so here's the completed case, fully heat shrinked and labeled with the type of cells inside, amperage or voltage, and amp hours and stuff. Here's the top, other side, the back, and the front. Now I know this is not the most secure, and there's wires obviously exposed here, but this is supposed to be inside the Jetson Bolt bike. It's protected by a cover, and then there's a hinge or a bolt that holds it in place up top here. That's why I didn't want anything on top or at the bottom. So the frame holds it, is rigid, and stays in place with the angle bracket that's required to install it. And then just add foam or whatever to secure it and prevent it from rattling. In the future, if I decide to make this case a little bit more waterproof or secure, I would. But for now, this is good enough. All right, I can service this as well as balance it by opening this up slightly and then connecting the balancer to it. And then I can also troubleshoot the case if there's any issues as well. So that's it. That's the Jetson 48 volt battery, or an extender battery.